Plates ready? This is Food School, Smarter, Stronger, Leaner podcast. Want to feel amazing, love the way you look in the mirror, and perform your absolute best in the gym, at work, and in life? You're definitely in the right place. Food, it's you. It builds every single cell of you. And if there is one thing every human being must master, it's food. Because at the very least, eating, you do it every day, several times a day, every single day. You might as well get good at it. I'm your host, Shurina from Create Yourself That Today, your personal nutritionist and plate watcher, your diet guide and explorer, your fat loss coach and food inspector. And just someone with a lot of passion and obsession and curiosity for healthy food, healthy diets, nutrition, optimized human performance, everything and absolutely anything you put in your grocery shopping cart, your fridge, on your plate, and in your mouth. It's my business. Food School, on a mission to help you eat better daily.
It's the last time I talk about food. It's the last time I talk about food.
Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Food School Smarter, Stronger, Leaner podcast. Today is Friday and it's our last episode of the week. This week is going to be a short one. It's only 4 episodes, so make sure you go back and re-listen some important episodes of this week, especially about the nutrients that you shouldn't be eating in order to preserve as much as possible your health, in order to look amazing for many years ahead, in order to preserve degenerative diseases, and just have an awesome life experience. So re-listen episodes this week, and also go to my Instagram, check out the videos I've been making throughout the whole week. The last video is going to be up today, and most of the videos, a lot of the posts were about how to get your vital, life essential nutrients that are on the list of nutrients of concern, or basically nutrients that a lot of people, by the latest research of different institutions, a lot of people are deficient in those nutrients and they're life essential, meaning that if you don't get it in your diet, we tend to have some either diseases or problems, with our energy, we're fatigued all the time, or issues with mental health. So check out my Instagram and start shopping for your life essential nutrients like a pro. Today's episode, let me start here. You might be tired hearing about different diets, about the amount of carbs you eat, or fats you eat, or, the kind of fats that are good, the kinds of fats that are bad, the kind of carbs that are good, the kinds of fat or carbs that are bad, the kinds of foods that are good or bad. And sometimes you just want to eat intuitively, or basically eat whatever you feel like eating. So today's episode is mostly about intuitive eating and how to do it in the right way. And the right way meaning you gotta feed your body it needs. You shouldn't feed your cravings. So don't feed your addictions, don't feed your cravings, feed your health, feed your body, feed your best expression of self on this planet. And intuitive eating should support that. Yes, it's true that your body on some days might need more nutrients. On some days, your body will feel like you don't need any food and you're just not going to be hungry. It probably happened to you. Some days you are just super hungry and some days you're just not. And that's totally fine, because the body is this dynamic system and it's an open system, meaning that there are a lot of things that coming in from your environment, like, different things that happen in your life throughout your day. You're more active on some days, you are less active on other days, you sleep better on some days, you sleep worse on other days, there is traveling, there is stress, there are so many things that interact with your body with this complex systems, and it's no wonder your body needs different kind of nutrition and more or less of nutrition on different days. It's completely normal. And so when people talk about intuitive eating in the right way, in the correct way, it means that you need to be in tune with your body's needs, and you need to listen to that. And if you're not hungry, don't eat. And if you're super hungry, then eat. But of course, there are also those things that you need to be aware of. Like, for example, if you're constantly not hungry and you're losing weight, that means something wrong with you. You know, if your health deteriorates, if you feel worse and worse, then it's not a good sign. Or if you overeat all the time and you put on weight and you start getting all kinds of diseases and disorders, it's also not a good thing. And it means that your body needs some help to be fixed. And so intuitive eating will work in some ways better, or on some occasions better, and on some occasions worse. So it's not, again, that black and white thing. So you either eat everything you want and anything you want, anytime you want, or you restrict yourself all the time and count every single bite of food that you put in your mouth, your carbs, your calories, whatever that is, right? Again, it's not a black-white thing. I know myself, you know, since I was a kid, I was very much in tune with my body, and I could feel like, I don't know, almost, it's always like really, really funny for me. I would go to a store shopping, and probably even before I go shopping, I would wake up and I'm like, I need blueberries today. And I might eat blueberries for the next few days, like a lot of them. And then I would, okay, I'm done. You know, I had enough. And for me, it's a normal thing. But for a lot of people, it's not. You just feel, you know, some unease or some discomfort, or you feel like something is lacking or something is just off, and you're just not sure what to do about it, right? Intuitive eating and intuition, your awareness about your body, it's also a skill, and you need to practice it little by little. And if you just start, you know, if, for example, you were dieting for quite a long time and counting a lot of things, and you feel like, you know, you need a break from that. But if you haven't done that before, really, then you shouldn't just jump into eating whatever and start, you know, eating all the foods that you haven't tried for a while or haven't tried at all. Foods, you know, a lot of processed foods is never a good news, no matter how intuitive you want to get with yourself. And the point of this is have a common sense plus intuitive eating. So what does some junk food full of trans fats, of preservatives, of additives that are proven to cause cancer, increase degenerative diseases, increase heart disease, what good does it do for your body or for your mind? It's not good for your mental health to satisfy your discomforts and to seek some emotional stability in food, changing your biochemistry that way. It's not a great thing, and you need to grow up from there. And intuitive eating might be a great thing, but again, you gotta have common sense. You gotta practice it before you get good at it. Like just with any other skill, you're not gonna be proficient with it just right at the start. But I want to give you some practical advice that you can start using today to get better at intuitive eating, and especially if you want to stop dieting, if you want to stop following some protocol or a lot of rules, if you actually want to tune into your body and allow it to tell you what might be best for you at this point in your life. So first, remember this. Feed your body, not your addictions, not your cravings. And the way you do that is you eat whole foods intuitively, without anything added to it, without much spices at all. For a while, for months, take this experiment and eat only whole foods with nothing added to enhance its flavor or its palatability or its attractiveness to your mind, to your brain, because all the cravings and addictions, most of them come from your brain, but also some of them, of course, maybe a lot of them, the science is not exact on that point yet. Maybe some of them come from your gut, or from your gut bacteria, or a lot of them. Anyway, start with eating only whole foods, your fruits, your vegetables, your meats, your eggs, if it's dairy, unsweetened, if those are grains and beans, then not processed, not in the form of pasta or bread, but no, whole grains, whole beans cooked in a healthy way, steamed, pressure cooked probably is the best way, for example, to cook beans. So you might add a little bit salt, but I wouldn't even add any kind of fats, any kind of oils, any kind of butters. Just get used to the actual taste of your food, of your vegetables, of your fruits, of your meats and fish. Actually, let your body to learn what different nutrients taste like without much added to them. I'm really good at tuning into my body because I eat very simply, meaning rarely, if ever, I add a lot of spices, a lot of flavorings, additives. Rarely, if ever, I change the taste of my food that it's not recognizable. So if you tell me, for example, how does salmon taste, my brain already knows that. Like, I know how salmon tastes without anything maybe like salt added to it. I know how sardines taste. I know how Brussels sprouts taste. I know how blueberry tastes. So my brain associates different kind of nutrients with those very specific tastes. And that's why I'm very good at identifying certain deficiencies that my body can have and identifying the foods that are connected to the nutrients that my body might need. But before you get there, you need to actually educate your body again. And a lot of us in that environment of mostly processed foods really forgot what real food tastes like, and you need to re-educate yourself. And also, while you do this, try to get more flavorful food of a better quality, fresh foods. There is a difference between a fresh tomato and some almost plastic tomato that is some GMO or was sprayed with a bunch of pesticides and have no real taste. So try to get as organic as possible, as local as possible, as flavorful as possible, because actually more flavor, natural flavor, means more nutrients for your body. So when it comes to intuitive eating, first, educate your body about the nutrients that your body can get from different kinds of foods. And you gotta rebuild that link in your brain between certain natural flavors of different foods and certain nutrients. So take a month and start eating your food really simply cooked with just salt added to it and nothing else. So salt, and then you can mix of course your food. You can eat your vegetables and your meats and whatever, but unflavored whole foods. Just add some salt to it if that's the kind of food that needs salt. Like, I love to salt my vegetables, I love to salt my fish, but not in excess, just the normal amount. So this is number one. Feed your body, not your cravings or your addictions. Number two, have a structure around meals. I do not recommend anyone to snack all the time. You feed that way, you really do not ever experience your natural hunger. Like, your body cannot be hungry all the time. It's problems with your blood sugar. It has nothing to do with your hunger. Unless, most of us, especially if you're listening to this podcast, you're living in a world where you probably never experience starvation, right? And you're not malnourished. And probably the hunger that you think you feel is not really hunger. It's craving for something. It's some imbalance in your blood sugar or something else. So have a structure around your meals. Yes, you can eat whatever foods, whatever whole foods you want in whatever amounts you feel like, but you gotta have structure around your meals. So breakfast, lunch, dinner, it's a good structure to start, guys. In addition to that, have 12-hour fasting window, your sleep including, for your digestive health. That's just a natural thing we all should be doing. That's just a natural thing for our digestive health. Imagine your digestive organ is like a factory, or it's a working mechanism. And any working mechanism, especially alive, needs some time off to do some repair, regeneration. It's just a condition of life. The better you are at recovery and regeneration, the more rest you allow in recovery, the better usually the system works. And a lot of gut issues happen because people eat all the time and never allow time for digestive system to regenerate, to recover, to rebuild some structures that needs to be rebuilt. So 12-hour fasting window. And as an example, for example, you stop eating 8 p.m. By 8 p.m. you're done eating. Why 8 p.m.? Because usually it's a good thing to go to bed by 10 p.m. So 2 hours at least you need to have between your last meal and your sleep for good quality sleep. I recommend 3 hours or more. But start with, for example, 2 hours. 8 p.m. you finished your food. 10 p.m. you went to bed. So from 8 p.m. till 8 a.m. you do not get to eat any food. That is for your digestive health. And then you can have your breakfast, and then whenever it is convenient for you, you can have your lunch, and then whatever it is convenient for you, you can have your dinner. And that's number 2. Have structure around your meals. If you feel like you need to eat, you need to snack all the time, again, it's not your hunger, it's problems with your blood sugar, and that needs to be addressed if you ever wanna have your full health at your disposal. Number 3 is slow down. It's scientific truth that there is this time lag between the time that you start eating before your body digests and assimilates nutrients from your food, and when your brain gets the signal that it got it and you're full. And in order for you to actually be guided by that feeling in time, you need to slow down. And I'm not saying you gotta, chew every piece of your food for 30 times or be super crazy about it and making it super inconvenient for yourself and not sustainable. But don't inhale your food. Take time. Don't eat in front of your computer. Don't eat watching TV. Don't eat when you're super excited or, you're among a lot of people and it's a party or something. Try to have as many meals as possible. Just having, even it's 20 minutes. Have it by yourself. Sit down. Chew your food. The better you chew it, the better it is for you. But chew it normally, swallow it, actually taste your food fully, feel the smell, the textures in your mouth. Be mindful about that. Again, even if it's just 20 minutes for each of your meal, 1 hour total, be mindful about that and just try to be as connected to your eating experience as possible, and that will really enhance your body, food, intuition, connection, awareness. Like if you always inhale your food, it's very hard for your body to really experience your food, to realize what those nutrients that you just ate, where those nutrients came from, and what kinds of food your body can now associate with those nutrients, but also the experience of tasting food, smelling food, seeing it, feeling it, that increases the amount of satiety that you feel and your brain satisfaction, and it decreases much to a huge degree your cravings for anything when you connect to your food on that level and you allow yourself that time to actually experience your food. So this is number 3, slow down and actually get through experience of eating. Do not inhale your food. And that is also, by the way, I really recommend as a life practice to eat the least amount of processed foods that you can just, drink or consume really quickly. Did you know, by the way, that food industry have this definition of bliss point, or basically your experience from food, that at which point the food becomes irresistible and you want to eat it and overeat it. And fast foods, a lot of processed food, are specifically designed to hit that bliss point. And one of the constituents of that bliss point is how fast the flavor can hit all of your taste buds and how fast the food dissolves in your mouth without leaving a trace of itself, but just that intense flavor and aroma. And so the faster the food is dissolved in your mouth, the better it is for overeating and not really hitting your hunger awareness cues. So just be mindful about that. Eating your fruits, for example, and drinking them in a smoothie is not the same experience. Not from your body's perspective, not from your hunger perspective, not from your intuitive eating and emotional eating perspective. It's not the same experience. Your body doesn't recognize those foods the same when you eat them whole and when you blend them in a blender. So for this experience, for these months of intuitive eating, of re-educating your body about food and different nutrients in natural foods, eat your foods whole, cooked in a sensible way that our ancestors used to cook them, preserving as much whole parts of that food as possible, and really tasting the natural flavors of different foods. So to recap on emotional eating, we shouldn't be it emotionally, but to recap on intuitive eating. Intuitive eating 101. But yeah, intuitive eating and emotional eating have a lot in common. Intuitive eating 101. Number 1, feed your body your health, not your cravings, not your addictions, meaning let's take this 1 month experiment when we eliminate all the processed foods, all the pre-cooked, processed, with preservatives and additives, all these foods that are not the lost part or a whole lot of natural taste and whole food experience. Don't add any fats in a bottle. Don't add anything. Just eat whole foods with a little bit of salt to your taste. Number 2, have structure around your meals. So 12-hour fasting, 2 hours before bed you stop eating. Have 3 meals, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Really simple and easy, guys. Just like your grandma or parents, depending how old you are. Just as they taught you, you have your breakfast, you have your lunch, you have your dinner, and you're off to do whatever you need to do. Number 3, slow down and experience your food. That is also very, very important to develop your intuitive eating skills, guys. So slow down. You might feel something different. That is your masterclass, your Intuitive Eating 101. If you have any questions, if you are not certain about something, if you need advice, always feel free to reach out to Angela at createyourself.today. Angela at createyourself.today. As I said, don't forget to check my Instagram account. You're going to find the link in the show notes for some more information, how you can get more life essential nutrients from your foods, not from your supplements. And before I let you go, I want to give you another small advice on not binging, not overeating on those highly palatable foods that all of us probably love to experiment. Sometimes we love to, sometimes try something different, try something not that whole and not that healthy, but super delicious and super exciting. So weekend, a lot of people go out on the weekends. You probably will do too. Or most people love to cook something special, maybe try a new dessert, or maybe buy some snack that you missed for quite a long time, even if to just bite it a little bit. So the point is, you're probably gonna eat some food that might trigger overeating. And so the advice is about how not to go from one cookie to a whole bag of cookies, from one piece of cake or half of a piece to half of the cake or the whole cake. Believe me, that happened to me too. Or from one scoop of ice cream to a whole pint and gallon or whatever of ice cream, right? How to stop yourself? Well, actually, a very simple technique is to slow down. Did you notice that usually when you have those, when you overeat, eat food in huge amounts, that usually you do not savor every piece. There is a saying even that the pleasure of eating is in the first bite. So did you notice that when you eat a lot of food, when you eat huge amounts of foods, that you tend to eat really fast, barely really tasting any of that? You kind of just want to fill in your stomach, or I don't know, just eat as much as possible to satisfy that mental or emotional hunger for something. You don't really experience that much every bite of your food. So the advice is, if you want to get better at stopping at reasonable amounts and having just half a cookie or just a tiny piece of cake that doesn't really make any difference in a healthy diet, if you want to get better at being, having those things at real moderation, then really simple advice is just to slow down and actually taste your food and experience all the textures, all the aromas, all the flavors. Really allow it to dissolve in your mouth and do it really, really slow. Like, you would be amazed how much faster you get satisfied with eating that food when you just eat it super slow, almost like melting a piece of chocolate in your mouth or ice cream. Just, take a few minutes to dissolve or eat and experience that piece of cake, that piece of chocolate or a cookie or ice cream, whatever it is you are craving. Take time, slow down, and again, you'd be surprised how much faster you're gonna get satisfied, and you're like, I'm done with that, and you can continue with your day and your evening, and to enjoy other people's companies or company or other activities. So try that, and I'd really love to hear from you how it went. So you're not alone if you're having this problem with overeating highly palatable foods, and some people call it binging. You can call it whatever you want to call it. So you're not alone there. A lot of people experience the same problem. I used to experience the same problem until I really understood what emotions I was trying to satisfy and why I couldn't stop, and until I mastered and practiced and all of this, until I learned my own lessons. I used to do that too, but not anymore. And I wish you the same kind of contempt and peacefulness, mindfulness, and joy around your food. So intuitive eating, try it for a month with these rules I told you about. Feed your body, not your cravings. Have 3 meals, have structure around your meals, and then slow down. And then if you feel like having a treat once in a while, then do it really, really slow. So that's it for today, guys. I'd love to hear from you what you thought about this episode. Check out my Instagram. The link is in the show notes. And as usual, till next time, well, have an amazing weekend and eat better daily.